I am a single mom of my daughter who just turned 14 just a few days ago. I'm on my second husband, and I've been married to him since 2014. I started my job when I was 17 and I still do have an incredible career there. And my daughter is super important to me, and my job's important to me, and heavy use of drugs or alcohol wasn't something that was in my family. And I was a typical gal in my 20s, going with my friends, going dancing, going to the bars. Of course, there's many hangovers in those days. Then I hit my 30s, became a mom, got a little more serious. Then, not so much going out and partying as it is having a glass or two of wine at home or a cocktail, whatever it may be. And then in the 40s, in the 30s, I divorced my first husband, my daughter's father. And things got a little rocky right then as I reflect now and realized that I was drinking a little bit more because I only had my daughter, she was gone a couple nights a week. So I made the most of that to just try to regain some of my life and my independence. But I did realize after reflecting that that's when my drinking really started to increase. So then after going through that, I hit my 40s and just life got the best of me. It turned into, one glass became 2 glasses and 2 glasses became 3 and 3 became a bottle. I have a very high profile job. I've worked there for so long. I've built a lot of the infrastructure. I'm the kind of person they go to, they say, if it's broken, take it to Toni. She's going to figure out how to fix it, make it beautiful, and turn it into something we can utilize. I was to a point where I was feeling miserable. I was on this hamster wheel of, okay, I'm going to stop today. I can't. Oh gosh, I feel awful. Okay, now I'm balanced. Okay, tomorrow I'll stop. And you get in this wheel where you just keep on this destructive path where eventually the wheel's going to fall off the hinges and there's going to be nothing and nowhere for you to go. So I kept getting all this broken stuff and being a single mom and my husband's super supportive, but that's not his biological child. So, he's supportive to me but would never infringe on that. Parenting, we try to respect that. So, there's a lot of things that you go through in a day. You take the weight of the world on you and you don't realize that your only recourse is coming home, and the only thing that takes you down a few notches is that glass of wine or that 2. But like I said, that 2 became a bottle, and that bottle became a bottle and a half, and that became 2 bottles, and that became 3 bottles, to the point where I was dry heaving every morning. And I had the shakes so bad that holding a glass, I had to get that first glass of wine in me before I could function. And then 2 hours later, I needed another glass until I had a seizure. I had been sweating all night, and it took everything in my power to get out to that living room so I could call my mom and dad, who live in the in-law quarters in the backside of my property. I could hear them, but neither of them were answering their phones. And I thought to myself, I'm going to die in this bed. I saw my body float above itself. And I will tell you, it was the scariest thing I've ever had happen to me in my life. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to die in this bed. I'm going to die in this bed. I'm going to die in this bed. And my mom walked in. And that was the day that I went into the ER and I told them I needed help. And then I ended up at Diamond House Detox that same day. I've never been so scared in my life. I don't fail, and I sure as hell didn't fail at drinking. So, I was super scared, and I didn't know what to expect. Nothing compares to having to admit that you need help and going to a strange place with strange people that you don't know. And I think anybody coming in, you don't know what to do unless you've been through it before, like anything in life. So I was super scared but the staff were very nice. Everybody was wonderful. So, and we had our own rooms, which is, I couldn't imagine being as scared as I was and having, to share a room. So it was really nice. That was a very big luxury. Things that made you comfortable. So, we had television and cable access and a desk and people checking on us all the time. And There were rules, but I think with anything, there has to be rules to have a successful program, but nothing unreasonable. The food was delicious. We were fed. There were snacks. We got our meds. It was a new, again, I'm in this whole world that I have known nothing about. All I know is I feel like garbage. And they made me comfortable, and I pretty much slept for the first 3 days. I was interviewed by Vicki, and she said, we want to put you in residential. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Of course, I'm like, can you let me go home? I need to go back to work. And she's like, I think you need to stay. And what she told me, which is something that I always knew, but I wasn't sure, and it just opened my eyes, that you have the weight of the world above your head. When does Toni get a bubble above your head? And she said, I'm not sending you because I don't think you can do this on your own. I'm sending it because you need to take a step back and figure out what's going on with you, and you need a minute to rest. So from there, I went into residential. I was at Swan, which was also a very lovely house. And so those days were filled with all levels of care. Sound bowls, meditation, reflection, discussion, lectures, education, all things that are super important to be successful in this program. I felt strong enough in my sobriety that I checked myself out at 9 days. And I returned home with my husband and my daughter and just continued the program from home. But then I had to cut a deal. I had to come to the Sacramento location and do the outpatient, which is a Monday through Friday from 10 to 5. It's pretty much an all-day program. And then from there, I graduated, which you never really graduate out of this program, just so you know. I graduated into the outpatient program, which was in the afternoons. During that time, I went back to work in the mornings. I wanted to get back to reality, and that's the goal. At the end of all of this is that we have a life that we can go back to. And luckily, I had a husband still there and super supportive parents and a job. So I'm just super grateful for that. And so I went back to work in the mornings, and then I commuted here in the afternoons to the Sacramento location. And I did that for 12 weeks. And from there, I got a little pen that said, okay, now you can go out there. And that was scary. It was scary not having the relationships, the people, your support system. But you have to get back. You got to get back and insert yourself into society. So from there, I went back to work full time. I go to 5 AA meetings a week. So during this time that you're here at Diamond House, they also make you go to the outside world and get yourself established with AA meetings, NA meetings, or whatever meetings that are appropriate for your addiction. And I met some lovely people and made great relationships with those people in AA, because those are the people you go home to when you're done with this program. And so, so I'm established with those programs, and it was baby steps, big steps that took me to baby steps that were going to put me back into society. So I am forever grateful for this program. The first day I was here, what do you call that? My intake picture. And now you wouldn't even think I was the same person. Thank you for having such an incredible program. If you find your life unmanageable, whatever it may be, too much work, alcohol, drugs, whatever it may be, ask somebody for help. I would say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get sober. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to come to a program like this where all you have is people who want to love you until you can love yourself.